Hi, this is Cynthia McMullen with Alaska Institute of Oriental Medicine, Acupuncture, and Massage Therapy. And I'm here today with Kristi Seater. And Kristi is an energy healer also. We both are. And we have, we've just had Kristi into our school twice now to do workshops.
It's been wonderful.
So a couple months ago you came in and you did a sound bath workshop where we got to experience all your instruments, your crystal bowls, all the different vibrational things that you do, and you actually did a sound bath on our group. We had, about 30 people there.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Yeah, and we're just going to talk about energy healing and vibration and whatever it is that comes up out of the conversation with that.
Well, I'll just even say what comes immediately to me is that sound bath that night was so amazing because it was the energy, the community of your group. I mean, I have these sound baths that are extraordinary, and then I have ones that they're all extraordinary, but your group of students, and there's an energy in your school, and it was just one of the most profound sound baths I've had. Anyway, I knew when people were taking journeys and, in the cosmos, and it was extraordinary, but there was a whole lot of energetic love that was there, and we created this incredible field with that sound bath that I still think about, that was just magnificent.
It is such the energy to be in that. It's just a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, how did you first even come into doing this?
Okay, well, I've been interested in music all my life. So I've done like opera and been in bands and singing and stuff like that. But about 6 years ago, I was told by a meditation, this is usually what happens to me, in a meditation, Kristi, it's time to pursue the music a little bit more. And so I looked into sound healing, and I went to the Global Healing Institute down in San Francisco with this magnificent person named David Gibson. And so that's where I just brought it into fruition a little bit more. But actually that's not entirely true, because I'm a yoga instructor, and I had spent time down in Peru and Bolivia and Central and South America, and I had a lot of shamanic experiences with people as well. We're bringing in shamanic instrument type healings as well, and so they kind of both just juxtaposed and came together. So white shamanic light healing is something that I do in town. Well, anyway, there's all kinds of things that come in, but mostly it's my own now with the sound and the shamanic healing and whatever comes into me. Yeah.
And so, but you must have done something where you heard the crystal bowl, or you played it, and knew. Was there a knowing that you could do something with that?
There was, because I just felt it was like a live being. The bowls were just these live beings. And again, when I was down at the David Gibson Sound Healing and the Global Sound Healing Institute in San Francisco, he had the alchemy bowls, the alchemy crystal bowls, which are like little personalities in and of themselves, and so are mine. They're the white crystal bowls, but they spoke to me on such a level, and I just felt the release of energy coming from other people. We worked on one another when we were there, and we used all kinds of different instruments and stuff, but the bowls, because we have crystal in our bodies, and they're pure crystal bowls. We interact, and what is out of balance within our bodies is balanced by those crystal bowls. Brings it into balance. It's pretty profound. Yeah.
Now, on that line,
a direct relationship.
We were talking for a few minutes before we started the recording here, and we both love essential oils and flower essences, and love using those with what we do. And you were telling me about using those with the crystal bowls. Would you mind talking about that again? Because that was just beautiful and fascinating.
Yeah.
About using the flower essences. You said putting them in?
Yes, because flower essences too, and you would know more about this than myself as far as their energy, their frequencies, so they hold frequencies as well. But you can take a crystal bowl and you can put water in the crystal bowl, and when you play it with a group of people, the energies play off of one another, but you can also add those flower essences in there as well, and then you're getting the medicinal characteristics of the flower essences in tandem with the bowls, in tandem with the field that's created with the people that are in the room from that sound bath experience for the individual. And then when it's done, you can actually drink that water, and then you're the recipient of the energy moving into your body in a physical fashion as well.
That's
kind of profound, isn't it? I know. We should work together.
I do that.
You should. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And there's a woman that, I want to say her name is Kimba Arem, and she does that stuff. I mean, she's pretty incredible.
What about putting it in a glass of water and doing the, like if you just have a metal Tibetan bowl, doing the vibration over that or near it? Would you get a similar?
Oh my gosh! I mean, I totally feel that would be exactly the same thing. Maybe different because Tibetan bowls. I mean, the crystal bowls are, they're pure crystal. The ones that I work with are 99.929% pure crystal, and they're grown from. I mean, they're actually grown with made with silica and water, and they're created. The other ones are alchemy bowls, the metal ones. So there's like 7 to 12 metals that are fused together, but you still get the properties of the metals in and of themselves that then would interact with the flower essences as well. But I'm not sure. I mean, it would just be maybe somewhat different. You'd get the metals and their properties infused in there as well, but maybe it would be pure with the quartz crystal bowls. I'm not sure. But it's an interesting thing to think about. Yeah. Because Amoto, the water man, the Japanese water man. Yes, you can just think the thought about water, and you put that intention into the water, and it changes the crystal in and of itself within the water, right there and then, with love or with hate, just even putting a word on the outside. So I think anything is possible.
Yeah, well, they talk about water carrying information and light carrying information also.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we're on the same page in terms of all of that stuff. Yeah.
And I love the concept of even the light of our body being affected by the vibration that you're creating with all of the different instruments.
Yeah. And what it comes to me when I'm doing sound baths anymore, just individual sessions, is that the bowls really interact with every person in a different way depending on the issues that need to be addressed within the person. I mean, it's very interesting. They play differently for every person. Like I'll do an individual, like just the last 3 hours I've been doing individual sessions, and every heart bowl is played differently for every person, and I put it on people's bodies. Every person it's interacted differently with has a different sound, has a different feel to it. The energy is different. It's really fascinating. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So you've been doing private sessions all day today.
Yeah.
And what do people come and see you for? I don't want to ask you to give any personal information, but what kind of things do people see you for?
Some people come in curiosity. Other people have had sound experiences before, and they know how much it can change them. But there has to be the allowance there. So the person has to allow that to happen. The more the allowance is there, the more that stuff can be let go of as far as having a sound bath experience. People come in with very definite ideas. This is what I want to have happen, or this is what I'm working on. And so it depends on the individual as to what they're looking for when they come in and they see me. And some just I don't know, and then all of a sudden all these things just happen. I meditate before I see each person, and I'm told by my higher self. I used to say my guides, but really it's my higher self that is tracking in my oversoul, my divinity. And I am directed in my individual sessions with people as to how, the holds, because I do energy work too. I do white light shamanic healing, and I do polarity balancing, and my own thing in tandem with the sound. And so my hands are getting hot right now as we're talking, but anyway, I just work accordingly with the individual as to what comes in from my higher self. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Because I know you do the same, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. It's really tapping in and listening, and it's the intuition that is hugely important as well. Can you tell me about yourself and how you do that?
I do it in a very similar way. There is a listening.
Yeah.
A listening, and I listen, and I think with my heart, I would say. And there's an intuitive knowing with that, or a sense. I get a very strong sense or feel of where to put my hands, what's going on. I don't usually get a lot of details, like psychic reading details or something like that. I don't do that. But I'll say this, I did recently have an experience in doing energy work on somebody that was a little bit different. And a lot of times I'll see colors. And sometimes the colors have different meanings to them. And I worked with somebody who actually I saw metallic bands rather than colors like blue or purple, something like that. And they had such a sense of earth, connecting to the earth.
The alchemy.
And I want to say on that line too, we had that big earthquake here just recently. And with that, I've seen so many people this past weekend too. We did a big event, and we had so many people coming in with aftershock PTSD type things or symptoms coming up because of it. And in doing the energy work, putting my hands into their energy field and feeling it, all I could feel over and over again was a disconnect from the earth. And it was a calling to reconnect the energy back with that.
And I've been feeling that too. And so the big Om bowl, the C, it's the note C, it's the root chakra. And so, I mean, with every person that has come in, I've been doing lots of sound healing stuff down on the Kenai Peninsula at the Adams Center too, been kind of bumping all over the place, but that has been very significant in my sessions, that I'm playing that Om bowl, and it's to reground people because of that PTSD significance that you're talking about. People need to be regrounded because there is a deep fear of what could happen next, or anyway, they need that reconnection. I totally agree with you.
And I have a sense that the earth is just shifting.
Oh, me too. In a really
that's part
good
of the
way.
That's part of the shift that the energy healers and the light workers all over the world are talking about right now. And we just physically experience some of that shift happening. I was saying I've done volunteer work in hospice before, and one of the things that I feel there sometimes is it's almost as if someone's spirit practices leaving their body before they actually do. And it seems like that the earth was just practicing moving, because we had that other quake 2 years ago that was very large. And it's like it has the same feel to it, like it's practicing doing this before it actually makes the full shift, which is going to be a beautiful and very
right. And I feel that too. I mean, I feel exactly what you're saying. It's like synchronicity there happening.
And there's been a lot. Have you felt a call to give energy to the earth?
Yes. Oh yes.
There's something too, we have to be connected.
Yes, I mean, totally. It makes me cry when I think about it. I meditate every day, but definitely there's such a love there. And definitely and it's reciprocity, because she needs our energy as much as we need hers, right?
Yes.
So it's this back and forth thing, but we're all ascending together. I mean, it's happening for all of us. And so, definitely I've been feeling that without a doubt.
We did a distant energy healing in my medical Qigong, the energy healing class I teach. And this past year we did one for one of the villages here in Alaska. That was one of the students in class was from the village. And she said that a number of the people, there was a large suicide concern and things on that line. And we sent energy to the entire village to help raise the consciousness or raise the vibration about that issue. And we used the energy from the earth. We connected with the vibration of the earth to in the energy work that we sent, and it was profound. It was a profound experience.
Yeah. I'm going to put this out there because I feel like, I do that stuff all the time. Every day I send energy in that way back to even Washington, D.C. because we need it there, just for that vibrational lifting, because I think it's not, people always say, oh, that stuff is not real. Oh my gosh, it's so real. That energy there is instantaneously, it's like the photons, they're there at the same time. That is absolutely happening. And it's necessary and it's needed. And, the more people that do that, the more elevation can be happening in those places. Absolutely. And it makes a huge difference. Yeah, I've done that sort of thing before too. Mm-hmm.
Do you ever pick up the resonance of the earth and use that?
Yeah. I mean, when I'm doing my healing sessions, I do that. I'm calling her to come in all the time, so it's all part of what I do, and I'm sure you're the same way. Is I pull in from the cosmos, I pull from beyond, I'm pulling in from the earth, I'm pulling in from my own heart, my own divinity. So I'm tapping into anything and everything that I'm guided to tap into. Yeah. Do you do that too?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And one of the things with that it fascinates me is there's a saying with a lot of the Native American languages that some of them are spoken to the rhythm of the heart, to the beat, the vibration of the heart. And it's one of the ways you can tell if somebody's not speaking the truth because they're speaking out of rhythm with their heart.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
And I mentioned that in class one day, and we had some Alaska Native students in class, and somebody said that the Alaska Native languages are spoken to the resonance of the earth.
Yeah.
And I find that very interesting.
And I feel like the indigenous peoples' languages all over the earth are spoken in that exact same way. That they really, they understand the resonance and the beat of the earth. I mean, it's where they've come from, and the respect is there. And so, that only makes sense, right? Yeah.
There's a lot of times when I do public speaking, or if I'm teaching a class or a workshop, and I don't know what I'm going to say in advance. I like to, and I know you do this too.
I do.
You have to feel the energy of the group to know what it is that you're going to say.
Yeah.
And I think it would be incredible to have, like the drum that you did in the sound bath was so powerful to me. If I could feel that vibration going through me with my eyes closed to help the words that I was going to speak through that vibration at the same time with my heart.
Yeah.
I would love to experience that.
We should make it happen. Yeah. Just you could have a drum beating behind when you're doing some sort of a lecture or giving a presentation
or a guided meditation or something like that.
Oh gosh, definitely. And the bowls behind that too, because I am in complete concurrence with you. And it's funny because in my last couple of workshops that I've done in different places in Alaska, I've been trying to write down, and I'm just told all the time, no, you cannot. It has to happen in the moment with the energy of the group, and it has to be because the back and forth, the resonance between hearts of the group that is there and yourself, and it's going to be different every single time depending upon who's there. So the words are going to be different, the energy is going to be different, and you cannot pre-plan something like that. Period. You can't. I tried to do that with my toning workshop the other day here, and it was like, Kristi, no, and then I just cashed it.
As soon as you put the paper down, and
I know,
and then it was just like it was perfect.
I know. It was interesting because I was thinking, I should be really but it doesn't work like that, and especially with the ascension energy that's happening, it doesn't work. It used to maybe in the old energy, people would be very, literal in what they were going to do and kind of spell it out, but it doesn't work anymore because it really needs to come from your truth. That is your speaking truth. It's your heart truth, and it's in resonance with the group that you're speaking with. So it's in tandem with the beat of the earth, is what's happening too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so another thing that was really profound for a lot of people was that very deep throat singing that you did.
Yeah.
And what is that?
So it's the Mongolian or the Tibetan throat singing. And, you know, you're just, gosh, I don't know. I've always just had this really low voice, and so I've worked on bringing it down into the chest resonance. So it's part of that lower tone. You know, like we did the toning this past yesterday, I guess it was, that sound. But it even goes deeper than that.
Would you do it for a moment, just to?
Let's see if I can get it. Got it for just a little second there.
Yeah, see, I get complete chills through my entire body. I can completely feel that vibration right here from you doing that.
Well, it's, you know, it's not me. It's just, you know, I'm a conduit, but it makes me cry too. You know, it's just, and there's such a deep connection to the earth there that it's just profound, but it's also otherworldly, because it's celestial too. It's like, for me, it's like remembering something. It's from the star lineage, it's from the celestial, it's cosmic as well, but it's also earth. So I don't know if that made sense to you, but yeah, I get chills from it too. And if your listeners want to go and listen to some Mongolian throat singers, they're on YouTube, and it is so powerful, because these people can actually have, I mean, they can have like a whole song coming out of their vocal cords, while at the same time the overtones that you're hearing in the background that are like a high A down to a very low C. I mean, it's profound, and it's just it's otherworldly. It's otherworldly. Yeah.
To experience that live in person, where you're actually feeling the vibration.
Yeah.
And I know in the sound bath when you did it, it was a lot louder.
Yeah.
Also, that's one thing that numerous people commented on, that was just really like shook them.
Yeah, and it's interesting, because I've had a lot of people that will say, "Oh my gosh, with that sound instantaneously, it will take them back to, you know, a place where they've been a monk in Tibet." Or, I mean, it's interesting. Another woman, she was in China, and she was having an experience there with a whole group of Chinese monks, I think it was, Buddhists there. Anyway, so whatever happens with that sound, it's very profound. It can take you celestial, but it can take you back into your Akashic records, which of course we want to, you know, put those aside now. We want to drop them, because we're moving into that new energy, right?
Right.
And that we don't need to belabor those things anymore. We need to let them go, and we need to come to that place of that clean tabula rasa, so we can create what it is that we want for the new energy that's coming in, that's here.
Yes.
Do you agree?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So another thing from the workshop yesterday, you were talking about a book or research on a topic, because I know the vibration is used. We use vibration in Qigong also.
Yeah.
And it's used in some of the hospitals in China, in the Qigong hospitals. We use vibration to dissipate masses, tumors, and different things.
Yeah.
And you were talking about a book that had actual research on that topic, and if you could mention that, I want to actually get and read this book.
Okay, it's by Fabian Mamol, and I want to say it's The Rise of Music in the 21st Century. It might be The Role of Music in the 21st Century, but he has written a whole bunch of books about this sort of thing, and he did a famous study, where he looked at the impact of individual cells, instruments, playing instruments, and he went through the instruments of cell and see if it had an impact on that cell. They didn't have an impact, however, the human voice did. And then he worked with an oncologist who had 10 women that had different types of cancer, and they gave the women a bowl. The women had a bowl that they toned with every single day. They only toned the sound ah. So, and that's the universal, you know, ah is the universal love sound. It's the heart chakra, right? And they tone for a month and a half, for about an hour and a half each day, and they could choose when they wanted, I believe, they could choose when they wanted to tone. All those women, after a month and a half, their cancers had dissolved completely, because when you lift your vibration in your body by sound or eating properly, thinking appropriate thoughts of higher positivity, cancer can't grow in the body anymore. It disintegrates. And I see that you know that too. Yeah. So anyway, it was a profound study. And I think we know this. We know this, but for whatever reason, people haven't tapped into it, or they're still so fully entrenched in the westernized belief that they haven't embraced sound. But it's coming, because we're fifth dimensional beings, and more people are turning to these alternatives that are not alternatives at all, right? They always said they're alternatives, but really they're the real thing, and finding success without, the pharmaceuticals and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you experience the vibration, to be in the sound bath, or to be in the vibration that you're creating there, you really don't feel solid and physical. And that opens you up to so much potential.
Yes, it puts you in a place of non-resistance, which is what the bowls do.
Of non-stagnation?
Non-stagnation or non-resistance, because when, so what happens with, let me put this another way. So if somebody is like, gosh, you're fighting cancer, or you're trying to beat cancer, that is a low vibration, right? Mm-hmm. Fight or beat cancer. And that's how westernized society sort of looks at it. What the bowls do, when you're playing the bowls, you're immersed in the moment, and it puts your body into a place of non-resistance. So what happens there is the innate system takes over completely on its own, and the healing can start to take place, because you're not in that place of fight, flight, or freeze, that, hypothalamus place. And so the energy can actually start working on your body in all ways. Does that make sense? The non-resistance? Yeah.
I follow the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Okay.
And kind of that whole crowd. Lynn McTaggart and
Greg Braden and
Bruce Lipton.
Yes. Cryon. Lee Carroll. Do you also Lee Carroll?
I know of him.
Okay. Oh my gosh, you should tap into Lee Carroll. Cryon.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, because he actually, all those people were sort of introduced by him, by Lee Carroll. They all came on his stage and they gave their first speeches and spiels. I think that's how they got famous. But if you tap into Cryon, and I'll say this for your audience, because Cryon he's a channeler, has been around since 1987, and really powerful stuff. You can go online and pull him up, and he does speeches or talks all over the world. He's talked at the UN and all kinds of places, but really powerful stuff. You'd like him too. Yeah.
Okay.
And I love Greg Braden. Do you listen to David Wilcock too?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I know the name.
Okay. Yeah. Amazing too. Anyway.
But with the other crowd, with Joe Dispenza's work, he's doing a number of workshops, all over the world. And one of the things that they're looking at in that area is having you feel non-physical as a way to heal. Mm-hmm. You get out of your physical body, and especially if you have different illnesses going on where you're so just bombarded or engrossed, entrenched in having that illness, to not feel your physical body. And he does a lot of meditations where you're feeling the space. You're feeling the space between inside yourself, outside yourself. And you keep on doing that until you stop feeling your physical body. And then you use higher states of emotion, higher states of consciousness together.
Yeah.
That's an area, I do hypnotherapy work also, and that's the area that I'm most interested in, is how do you take somebody
to that
rather
place.
than going back, rather than going back to a past life to figure out what happened. Let's bump that up and say, as your divine true self that's beyond human, what's going on there? And how can we bring back information from up there to heal you now?
Yes, to tap into that.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I love that.
And to me, that's where the vibration is really strongly coming in, is because it's giving us that non-physical feeling. It's helping us be less dense.
Yes, which is all part of the awakening and the ascension process too. Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's great. Yeah, and I think that's part of the non-resistance too, is that you're in an altered state.
Yes.
You know, you're not connecting to anything. Maybe you're just allowing what needs to come in that can heal you at the most benevolent and most the highest potentiality place possible.
Yes.
Is that kind of a hand in hand with it too, or in line with that as well? Yeah.
Yes, directly.
Yeah. Because that's what I feel. It's like I always feel like, okay, you know, it's the highest potentiality possible. Just bring it in. And my hands start getting hot when I start talking about that. And it's the divinity place. You know, it's coming from the divine. It's not even a light body, because I get these things coming in. It's, you know, there's like there's light, there's crystalline, and then there's light, and then there's divinity, and they're all different layers of soul layers. Anyway, I won't go into that, but that's
densities on that end, just like the physical body.
Yeah.
Out from there. Yeah. So you've come to Anchorage a number of times to do the sound bath, and you're traveling around. Kind of, what do you see yourself doing in this area?
Gosh, you know, Cynthia, that's an interesting question, because you know, I meditate every day and I get messages that come in and I'm not really sure. So what I've been doing literally for the last 4 years now is whatever comes in I do, and I'm not sure what the next thing is. I was told to bring my bowls to the Kenai Peninsula this summer, and I packed them in my car and I drove down to the Kenai Peninsula and I started calling yoga places and community centers, and you know, just setting up sound baths, because they needed that energy there on the Kenai Peninsula, and so that's why I went there. And then I was told to do the same in Talkeetna, and oh gosh, I've gone to Girdwood, and you know, here in Anchorage too. And I'm not sure what the next step is. I mean, I've got one that's in the works right now, and I'm not ready to share it, but it's like, it feels like it's the next, a wider circle. My circle is widening because it's about bringing women together, empowering women, kind of along the lines of a sisterhood, or a global sisterhood, or a Lemurian sisterhood, where we're just bringing that feminine back into for all people, because it's not just the women, it's the men as well. We need that feminine energy. So I'm not really sure what it's going to look like, but it's coming, and I know it's going to come, because that's just the synchronicity of the cosmos, or divinity, right?
And you're just in that flow. I can feel that on you. You're just
I am in that flow. I am, and sometimes it makes me cry, because I think, well, you know, what is next? And you know, and it just comes when it comes. But I'm living my life that way. I mean, I've quit all my jobs. You know, I was a school counselor for, you know, years, and have done a lot of different things. And now I'm just I am in the moment. And whatever I'm told to do, I'm doing, just to serve humanity and all beings everywhere. Because it feels bigger than just humanity. It's all beings, right? You know,
including the earth.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Because she's a being.
Yes.
She's a being, magnificent. How about you? What do you know? Can I ask that question of what? I mean, you do so much, because I mean, I've seen the respect of your students when I'm here, and what you do, and you know, then I just learned that you do this podcast with your essences and your flowers and stuff. I mean, and oils. That's amazing to me. What is next for you?
Well, the focus of our school is training healers.
Yeah.
And the students that go here are very, very connected in all kinds of different ways to doing healing work.
They're amazing.
And to be able to help bring that out in somebody just inspires me every day.
Yeah.
Every day. I love it. I love our students so much.
Yeah.
And I like you. I listen, and I allow what it is that's coming up, and I have a sense and a feel for it, and it's a very easy flow when that happens. There's no struggle to it. There's something that will catch my attention, and I become almost obsessed or passionate about that topic, and it's like I have to do it.
Yeah.
And everything and everybody get out of my way, because I have to do that.
That's good. Yeah.
And it'll go, but it's all around healing and making me being able to help other people bring out their
gifts,
their healing gifts.
That's like where I'm at a lot of times too. It's just, I feel like that's my mission, is to help people to see that within themselves, and to find their passion and their joy versus it being something that they're making money at. Put that aside. I mean, you have to make money to survive, but when you're in your synchronicity and when you're in your joy and when you're in your gift, the universe just provides, right?
Yes.
And it's so powerful and it's so beautiful. And when you experience people on that level, that they're living in their joy, it's amazing, right?
And it's about us.
It's about
us.
It's all of us. Yeah,
yes.
it's vibrationally lifting the entire
because if we're
planet.
all one energy, I can't do it unless everybody else is doing it too.
Right. And the more you tap that, it's vibrationally lifting everybody.
So if everybody else can have the highest degree of healing, the highest degree of love, unconditional love, the highest vibration possible, the more and more of us that do that, the more and more we all get to go.
Yes. And get to go is there. I think there's a whole lot to do.
Yeah,
to
and
that
sometimes I think of that the Marines saying, like, no man left behind.
Right. Right. But it's so true, because doesn't it? I know I can remember it was about a year and a half ago where I would have meditations where I just felt so. It was. I would just cry. Oh, just let me be that vessel to help people, to realize their gifts and to come to that place where they find their joy and they uplift all of humanity and the entire earth. Because it really is about bringing everybody on board. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fun in a way too, because it makes me clearer, it makes me stronger, it makes me know my information. It makes me come from my heart more and more, and I can't not do that if I'm going to do what it is that I want to do with other people. So I like that too.
Because it really is about coming from the heart, isn't it? That heart place.
Yes.
And it feels so good to live in that place, doesn't it?
It's addictive.
I know. It's amazing.
It's like just to be in vibration, to be coming from the heart, to be doing that, to be living in that way. I don't like being out of that. I don't either. And it's always an interesting. I'm just going to say this because I've lived that way, especially when I was a child. We all live that way, probably as children. And then the layers start coming, the enculturation, and we have to then get back to that authentic and pure voice and that pure heart, right? But it's such an interesting thing, because even within my own family, sometimes my family, for the most part, except for one, they think I'm crazy. And they don't literally think I'm crazy, but they don't understand me, even though I think they're starting to more and more as we're ascending. And they're beautiful people, but they don't understand quitting a job, that has benefits and all this stuff, to follow this passion that you're waking, you feel like it's so important to help people awaken to their gifts. My family doesn't quite get that. But it's okay. My daughter recently said, "Mom, I always thought our family was normal. And then I was around actual normal people. What's going on?"
Who are you, Mom? And I have two girls. I know you said you have a son and a daughter, correct? And yes. I have a 25-year-old and a 29-year-old now. And they used to think their mom was a little different, but I always beat to a different drum, my own drum. But now they're totally like, "Mom, you rock." And it's
Isn't
really
that great?
Sweet. Oh, it's so sweet. It's so sweet. And they applaud me. They give me accolades for following my heart. And so, anyway, it's all good because we're role models.
Yeah,
we're
and
role
that's
models.
beautiful. You can show your children how to do that.
Yeah.
To live as the example.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is we have these young kids coming in that are your star children, your indigo, your chrysalis, your light children. And we're the old souls, right? And we may have been those young people as well when we were young. But they need us, old souls, ancient souls, however you want to look at it, to help them navigate the old energy and to understand the world as they're coming in from those fifth dimensional beings trying to integrate into the third dimension, but now we're ascending again. So it's this beautiful interrelationship with those kids that are coming in. Do you feel that too?
Yeah.
Yeah. yeah, it's just, I love the process. It's incredible.
And it's coming to all one.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And we need, and understanding we need one another. We need one another, hands down, because there's this generational thing sometimes, and I just love the young people. I mean, I just embrace, and but you get a lot of people our age that sometimes there isn't that connection, and we just so much need this, right? So I'm hoping for more of that in the future for the earth in general, that we'll see more of that intergenerational healing and coming together to vibrationally lift the earth as well. Yeah.
So I know you have another appointment coming up in a few minutes.
Yeah.
And one thing is we had very briefly mentioned in passing possibly doing some work together.
Yeah.
And I download things sometimes. I think you probably experienced the same thing.
Too. The last new moon, I had a rock and roll night.
And when that happens, it's just like information is just there, and it's there in full, complete and understood, and it comes in perfect. And I got that with a treatment that we could actually do together. We could teach it and do it, and it would use vibration along with energy work and acupressure. There's an acupressure and a Qigong pattern that I teach and that I do that goes directly to the DNA level. And
sounds that way
along with the vibration that you do and the sound bath type work, we could put that together in a way that would be so incredibly profound.
We should do it.
Let's do it.
Let's absolutely
talk about that afterwards.
Cynthia. Yeah. I mean, I would love to do that. And more people are connecting like that, and they're bringing their gifts together.
Yes.
And there are just amazing things that are happening.
I'm feeling that so strong. To work with other people.
Yeah, definitely. And then it's exponentially, you bring these energies together, and the vibration it's like when I do sound bath with big groups, sometimes it's like, wow, it just blows the top off of it. Yes.
Yeah, and you can do things that you can't just do on your own.
Yeah, because you're bringing those gifts
go places
together.
And it's so creative.
Yeah. Oh, I would love that. That would just be amazing. I would love it. Thank you for even saying that on this thing. Yay!
So is there anything special, anything that you'd like to leave people with?
I think that I would like to just leave people with, really focusing on you, because I think you're amazing. You are a gift to your community, and I think what you guys are doing here is just incredible. I really do. And so I thank you for opening your heart to me and for allowing me to come and spend some time with your community. And so I think that's all I would want to, just leave people with. And I will say too, and come experience sound, because sound will take you places that maybe are profound for a lot of people. And new. And it's just incredible. And we're open to it because we are vibrationally ascending.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Much. And I hope we have you back numerous times, and that more and more people can experience this, because it really is you have to experience it in order to understand the depth that you go to. Yeah, it's just beautiful work that you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cynthia, and you too. Thank you.